symbolic thing in the... The next question is Justin Joseph. I remember in my childhood days, I would see the nuns wearing their habits and women veiling in the church. Now I find that very rarely being followed. In the Eastern Catholic Church, for example, in Syro-Malabar and Malankara, it's still being followed, not in the Latin Rite. In fact, in the book of Corinthians, it's also mentioned regarding veiling. Your thoughts on that? Yes, there are two things you mentioned. One is about the veiling in the church, women veiling, covering their heads, church, and the other thing is about the nuns wearing the habit. About the veiling, this is a traditional, it's a question of a cultural expression of respect, and therefore the heads were veiled, covered the head, out of respect for entering a church in the presence of God. You see, these are symbolic. I remove my cap, the bishop removes his cap during the sacred time of the canon. When the readings are on, before the offertory, the cap is on. And when the bishop is really preaching or using his pontifical authority, his bishop's authority, he wears the mitre. But it's removed. I think I mentioned it before, in some places in North India, out of respect you've got to, now here we are removing the cap. There are some places you put a cap, cover your head out of respect. I remember I went to the Golden Temple and they invited me right to the sacred place and the Holy of Holies. But there you've got to cover your head when you go. So they gave me some sort of kerchief or some such thing to cover my head, which I did when I entered over there as a sign of respect. So it's a whole cultural thing. It's an external manifestation of an internal attitude, which is more important, Justin. So it's important really internally we are respectful. Now culturally, now in the West, practically I've hardly ever seen any country where they have the veils. I thought I saw a little bit in Korea, I'm not mistaken. I have a feeling I saw some. I saw also in Lisbon when I had gone sometime, a couple of years back. I think I saw there too people had some ladies, elderly ladies covered it. I mean, it was a cultural thing. My own mother, when she used to go to church, would wear a veil. That generation, now it's been culturally things have changed. So it's an internal attitude, and really there is no law of the church, cover your head, don't cover your head. Paul was mentioning at the circumstances of his time. And you've said again, since today is fifth Sunday of Lent, traditionally Passion Sunday, that should we veil our statues, icons and cross with a purple linen cloth. It's a beautiful tradition. Abroad, many homes do it. What are your thoughts? Yes, Justin, it's a beautiful tradition. It's done in most of our churches. We're doing it, and you see, we are in extraordinary circumstances. The poor parish priests are worried about the numbers and the online masses, and I don't know whether churches in Bombay, so few people are coming, so they've not really focused on that. It's a tradition. It's got a meaning. We are all mourning. We're not. And we are focusing only on the Lord, on His passion, death, and therefore they're covered. Means instead of removing the statues, they're covered over there, and it's again it's symbolic meaning. But once we are normal, all this will come back again. Justin, it's not done away with. It's at the moment people are worried about other things.